to Unfiltered Discussions. You got Nash in the building.
Got Ash in the building.
And today I would like to discuss the importance of growth. Like when it comes down to growth, what does that look like to you?
I feel like personal growth really starts with self-awareness. You know, because you can't grow when you're not aware. And really being able to have emotional intelligence and being able to be in tune with self, understanding self. And with understanding self, you know, and really being in tune with self, it lets you know what you're feeling, why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, you know, and that way that determines how you react to certain situations.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's the important piece of it all, because a lot of people say they have grown, but have you really grown?
Yeah, a lot of people say they grow. Oh, I've grown so much, and then they're put in a situation, and you see exactly what they choose to do in those situations, right? And you know, for me, it's important to grow because it makes you a better version of you.
Absolutely.
Right? And then when you start seeing that things that you normally will react to, and you don't even let it phase you, that's how you know that you have really did some personal growth with yourself. I just feel like if we're not growing, then we're really not doing anything.
No
right?
way.
If you keep yourself stagnant in the same mindset, the same things that you choose to indulge in, and all those type of things, then you would never ever really, you know, achieve the best part of you. When it's all said and done, I just think that you know, a lot of us, of course, we're comfortable with being in the spaces that we in when it comes down to our jobs, friendships, relationships. You know, even the type of neighborhoods that we live in. We're like, ooh, no, I grew up here. You know what I mean? I'm from down here. This is all I know. And it's like, yeah, that's cool too. But when you step outside of the box, you know, it opens you up to a world of different things that you have never even known about. And to me, I feel like that's what life's about. You're supposed to get out there and explore. You're supposed to get out there and do things that's, you know, things that you never would even imagine that you would do. I just feel like if I'm not growing and challenging myself, because it's a challenge, honestly. So I should be the type of person that, you know, reacts to things. And that's the, you know, from the beginning, I'm always saying I'm trying to not activate that react button, but I don't know how to not react that react button. But lately, I've been getting a lot better with it because it, you know, you see things and certain stuff you just go right past it, or you laugh at it a little bit and keep it pushing. And you know, people are expecting you to act a certain way about certain things. I ain't got it.
I ain't got it to give.
I don't care enough. The old me might have really cared, but this person that I am today, I ain't got it for you. And that's just that for me.
I think, you know, certain situations and certain life experiences contribute to personal growth. You know, because a lot of times you look at situations and we can easily say that, you know, poor me, you know, this happened. But did you really take a step back and look at self and really understand what the process of it all? Because it was meant for it to be a lesson, you know, and through that, it really contributes to growth, because certain situations that I was in, I look back and I said, you know what, I learned from that. I learned, you know, certain situations not to take certain things personal. You know why? Because everything ain't about you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people make things about them, and it's not. You have to really dig deep within self and understand why do you think that's always somebody's always talking about you, or why do you think that somebody's always looking at you? You know what I'm saying? So it's like once you get past that, then you'll understand that nobody's out to get you. Being defensive on certain things, you know, reacting in ways like, you know, like the reaction is different.
Hostile.
Yeah. So like when certain people come at me in certain ways, I already know how this individual is. Not saying that I'm going to tolerate certain things that's happening, but it's like, oh, okay, certain stuff that would bother. I'm like, oh yeah, I know how that's going to be, whatever. And that's when you start setting those boundaries for yourself and say, all right, this person's starting to act up a little bit, and I know I've grown. So when you got that personal growth, you know to set boundaries for yourself and say, it's okay to say, you know what, I'm good. It's time for me to go now. You know, because the old me would have probably been going back and forth with you, and then had a meaningless argument with you, and then now what?
Yeah, absolutely. I just feel like when you are in the stage of growing, because I feel like we never stop growing, right? It's like each level in life that you reach, it requires a different version of growth for you. So, like, going back to what you said, it's like when you know that an individuals act in a certain manner, yes, you're supposed to be able to say, I'm good. No, let me cut ties a little bit with you because you're no good for my mental and my emotional well-being.
Absolutely.
Right? Because if you ever notice that when you're around a certain person or a certain group of people and it like alters you emotionally or mentally, then that's not a good space to be in. And that goes back to protecting that energy, right? Those vibes, like those nonverbals don't lie. A lot of people like try to suppress them or overlook them or justify because they're the person that is triggering those things inside of you to say, oh well, that's my friend, or that's my spouse, or that's my sister, or that's my mother. No, this is what's going on, and how you feeling is valid. It's no lie, like the body doesn't lie, right? So yeah, I just feel like when you know when you're growing, right? You're put in positions and you be like, ugh, dang, I would have spazzed out.
Yeah.
I would have acted a fool up in this thing real quick, right? But when you sit back and you be like,
oh, okay.
That's it. That's all you got.
Oh, you done?
You know what I mean? And it just goes to show, dang. And you got to do like a mirroring effect. I'm like, damn, I was doing that. I was reacting to that. I was indulging in that.
And how I look doing reacting.
Exactly. So if I'm looking at it like this right now, then how was people looking at me when I was acting like this?
Okay.
You know what I mean? And everything, and that's another thing, as an adult, you got to understand is that everything doesn't require, hostility. Everything doesn't require a negative response. Even if they meeting you with aggression, your ability to separate yourself and just walk away from stuff speaks volumes of your character, right? Because it's easy to sit there and act out too, right? But if you have the ability to, like, that puts you way above here. You know what I mean? Like, to not meet them where they at. And oftentimes, that's what we do, right? Oh, you mean that's how you doing me? Oh, all right, I'm right back at you the same
I'm
whatever
way,
you right?
Doing.
Let me tell you something. People would be so baffled and trying to figure out, like, damn, she ain't say nothing back. Damn, she ain't do nothing back. Or what's up with her? No, it's not what's up with her. She's done with those type of behaviors. She's sick of indulging those type of, really, what are we getting? I just feel like if you got love for people or you deal with people and have certain relationships, certain things shouldn't even transpire.
No.
You know what I mean? And when they do, then it lets you know, damn, what are we really friends? Is this really the person that I deal with? I know that we related by blood, but damn, like, what does that count for anything? So yeah, I just feel like growth is necessary. Growth just has to happen in order for us to, really, really live life to the fullest. And that's just what it is, honestly.
Yeah. And some people are not able to identify their behaviors that's going on.
All day long.
Even down to the fact of somebody even mentioning something like, I felt like this when you did X, Y, and Z. And the person is not taking accountability because they always want to be right, or they always want to be the center of attention and feel like, oh no, you're dismissing you and putting it. So I'm supposed to put my feelings to the back burner because you done something to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like people get mad at you when they really owe you an apology
all day long.
And that be the sad piece of it all at the end of the day. But reacting to certain people and certain things, but people gotta understand, just because people are done with their situation or they handling you accordingly, understand that
always accordingly, child.
Is accordingly, and that's because nobody is tolerating that behavior. Just because you, like I always say, just because you know how somebody is, does not mean it has to be tolerated, down to the fact that when you say, oh, that's my mom, or I don't care if it was the Pope. It doesn't matter. It's called respect. You know, and people tend to do things that they don't want done to themselves
all day long.
And people have different rules for other people than they have for themselves
all day long.
And that be the part that really blows my mind, because I can't really wrap my mind around it. And it's like, wow. So it was I had a coworker of mine, and she was basically explaining how she was somewhere aware of something, and one of the friends was like really had an attitude and was acting like upset, but was shutting everybody out instead of letting people in it so they can understand how to deal with you.
Yeah, vocalize.
And that right there was a moment for her, because she was like, dang, she had to take a step back and look at self and say, wow, wait, that's how I make people feel when I'm acting the way that I'm acting and being a certain way that I am. That right there is personal growth right there from starting, because
that self-awareness was
it kicked in. You know, because people don't like to be handled in certain ways.
Oh, absolutely not.
No, and it's not cool, you know. And even down to relationships, you know, like intimate relationships. You know, you might have a relationship where somebody say they have grown from other relationships, and then they're still bringing in unresolved issues into other relationships, into their new relationship, and then it's going to show up
all day long.
Especially when something really transpires and something go on.
It's unresolved.
Yeah, and then it could be something very little, and the person start reacting in ways that you can't wrap your mind around, and then when you call a person out on it, they're looking at you like you're the one that's crazy, when all you're doing is trying to identify what's happening here and trying to gain an understanding of why this individual reacted in the way that they did and why were they triggered, and then they come up with an excuse with no accountability attached to it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And we got to understand that growth takes a level of uncomfortability, right? It forces you to be uncomfortable, because now you're putting yourself in places you've never been, right? And the more uncomfortable you are, it means it's working, right? And as long as you're not meeting it with resistance, then it's going to be a beautiful thing. You know, that process, you know, nobody really likes to go through the process of growth, but you got to have it. It's like, I would be scared to be the same person that I was a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, damn, I'm still that person. Like, and I'm not speaking on every area of your life, because you are who you are. No matter where you go, no matter, you know, who you be with, you are who you are at the core of your foundation, right? But once you know, say, Dad, this is me. Let me step outside of me and look at myself and see exactly what it is that I like and don't like. You know, and a lot of people can't do that. We want to always feel like we the best of everything, when that oftentimes is not even true, right? And you gotta say, Dad, like, why am I always encountering these type of issues, right? And why do I always have to, you know, deal in these type of things? And it's like, because it's either the way what you're allowing in, or the type of things you give out to the universe. Like, and a lot of people don't want to talk about that. It's like, it's everybody, it's you. Oh, and I'm not going to point over here because it's never me. You know what I mean? Because nobody's perfect.
No.
And when you're a person that stand on principle, because I'm big on principle all day long, it's never really so much more the act, it's always the principle behind it for me. So something that I might carry heavily, another person like, well, you still upset about that? You're damn right, because it's the principle for me.
It's not the issue, it's the fact behind the issue. Like, if somebody owes you money, but they sitting up in your face spending money every time you get with them, the point is, you never once said, hey, hello, I owe you money, or even acknowledged it. That's the thing.
Exactly. So, yeah, so when you stand on principle, people that don't stand on principle will never identify with you. They'll think that you're blowing it out of proportion. They probably think you're acting irrational. When it's like, if you maybe you should try to stand on principle, and then you can really, really understand. It's automatic. I don't even got to explain it to you, because you already know why I feel how I feel about anything. It could be a number of things. And that's just that, because especially when you are a certain type of individual and you know that you carry a certain type of way, no, everybody's not going to operate like you. But if you be around a person for a certain amount of time where you deal with somebody on a personal level, then you should know how that person is when it's all said and done. So why come and meet somebody with that when you know they're not for that at all? You know what I mean? You know that if you do X, Y, and Z, then this is going to be the end result of this, right? Right? Especially if someone handles you with care, respect, you know what I mean? And not even because you're beneficial to them. Just because that's who they are as a person. So they're going to give it out to you. And what you choose to do with it is on you, because once I give it to you and you don't know how to use it, then I'm going to take it back because you're not getting it no more. And that's just that. Then that means that then I have to remove myself from you because we don't stand on the same type of things. You know, and that's just really that when it comes down to this like principles of things in life. And that goes for every aspect of life though. You got to be able to stand on that stuff in your workplace and your personal relationships and just in passing.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if I'm in a market. I don't care where I'm at. You're not going to deal with me any kind of way. And then yes, I know it's more said about who you are, but I'm going to show you and teach you how to deal with me. You know what I mean? And on a level that you can understand. I don't know hostile stuff unless you leave me with no choice but to deal with you on that level. And if I got to deal with you on that level and I don't know you, come on, I don't got time for that. I don't feel like as we, you know, the older we get, the, you know, more mature we get, the more life experiences we have. I just feel like we should be able to know what is we okay with, what we know. You know what? Oh, you wanted me to come there? I wish I could, but I know I can't. And those boundaries. You know, I don't think, you know, today, you know, I'm good. I'm in a good space emotionally, mentally. I'm soaring. You know, I'm feeling myself today. And I don't think that I can attend that. You know what I mean? Because it's going to bring my vibrations down, and I ain't for that today.
And I ain't with it. It's either you respect it or you don't. And people got to understand, like, sometimes people don't feel like it all the time. It's okay for somebody to say, I don't feel like it today.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know, and that's just that. I just feel like, and then the more that people are allowed to be themselves, and this is more so for children, right? Because I feel like the more that the younger kids are able to express themselves and be who they want to be, and because that allows you to make mistakes and grow as well, right? And you know, you don't really know, this week it might be their favorite show, their favorite toy, and then another week is something different, right? And now they're opening up themselves to more possibilities and different things that they like, and then they start figuring out, Dad, when I had this stuff over here, I like this more. You know what I mean? Or let me try something different now. So when you go outside of the norm and start trying things differently, that forces you to grow too. Because now I'm open up to stuff that I never knew about. Then I got to figure out, how do I do this to do that, to get to that, to do that. So you know what I mean? So often it'd be simple things that we don't even think about, but it'd be the simplest things that help us grow as people, as children. And all that, and it really, 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 honestly, too, depends on, you know, the type of people that you be around, right? Even down to what kind of parent that you have, you know. Are you the kind of person that's like sheltered and closed door, or are you the rebellious type? Because I know I was, and I still am, right? You know, I don't do what nobody wants me to do. It's either my way or I don't want to do it anyway. You know what I mean? Like. And that's just that. And then I'm not meaning like I don't have rules and discipline. No. I'm meaning on my own personal level. Like, if it's not, I ain't doing it.
I don't feel like it.
You know what I mean? And I'm gonna let you know I'm not doing that.
I said it to her, I don't feel like that.
You know what I mean? And it's nothing like being disrespectful or anything like that, but it's just knowing who you are and what you want to do and what you're not going to do.
Absolutely.
You know, at the end of the day.
And it's just funny because some people have asked you stuff that they have no business asking you, and I'm looking, no, I'm not. I'm sorry to say it, but I'm not. I ain't doing it. And you look around and go like, Like, are you serious? But that's not the reaction I'm giving. It's like, no, I can't do that. No. But it'd be like stuff that I wouldn't even ask somebody.
Oh, they're gonna try.
And I just be looking like, are y'all okay upstairs or something? Because I don't understand how did y'all come to ask somebody something like that. And and a lot of times it'd be like the boundary thing. It's like, are you really looking at what you're like saying and asking people? It's like, what's wrong? And then they look at you like, well, what's wrong with her? No, what's wrong with you? And then another thing when it comes to growth, that is really important is really like the change part. Change and being able to adapt to change it promotes growth. And it also gives you a learning experience too. You know, sometimes we have to accept the things that we cannot change based off a certain.
Is that though?
Right. And once you get past accepting something that you can't change, things will be much better. You know, because in our minds we tend to try to think that we can fix things and maneuver things and figure out, well, maybe if I do it this way, this could change and this and that. But some stuff is just not given. Also, change goes down to really owning your flaws and knowing who you are as an individual and knowing how you are as a person. You know, I know how I could get at times. I know I'm not the easiest to deal with at times. You know, and I'm okay with that. But once you really be in tune with who you are, and a person come at you on some stuff, you're like, oh, okay, like you know how you are. It's not being cocky or anything. You just know that you're that type of individual on that level, and when things is up from there, when you really know how you are, that's goes back to really knowing what you like, what you dislike, what you don't like, what you're dealing with, what relationships you want in life. And that's the thing. Another thing is you got negative people out here, right?
All day long.
And still being negative. And I'm talking about those
incidents that they don't even be negative in.
Have no business or anything being in, right? That type of individual that is negative to the point where they're negative on other people's life and their goals and their accomplishments and good things that they got going on. It's like nothing. They're never satisfied with what nobody else is doing. It's always to, you know, take the eyes off of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, look at you. Take a photo of me and look at you. And those negative people that throws those subliminals out there and hopes that somebody catch what's happening. Like, I'm not that person that's gonna look at a subliminal. I'm the type of person, oh, okay, I'm look right past that, because if it ain't directed, it ain't respected. I don't even care. Oh, yeah, keep throwing that up there. You wasting your time and your energy.
You know what's so funny though? When it comes down to things like that, it just shows you just exactly where people life at, right? People love to make you believe that their life is in a good space. That they so happy they in love, right? All these great things, and great things may be transpiring, but you can't fully, embrace them because your mindset, the things that you choose to say, and why? I mean, really, what would make you wake up to be a nasty person? What would make you sit around and just talk about people all day? What makes people do that? I mean, honestly, it's one thing for something to transpire and you have a conversation on it, but to really, really consume yourself with other people's business is just mind-blowing to me. That means you have nothing going on.
And you also suffer from some self-esteem issues.
Yeah,
as
something
well.
is happening, and that's not cool. Like, it's like, what's up? Like, because sometimes you gotta look at people like.
Yeah, because they do that to boost their ego, boost their self-esteem, and they self-confidence by tearing down other people. And you just be like, look at you. Like, you look a mess out here.
It's
Stop
sad.
it.
It's sad. No, really it is. It's sad because I just feel like in life we got so much going on in all different areas, even stuff that we didn't even know we would have going on, because life just like throw curveballs at you like that. And it's like, do you think that I have time for that? Like, do you really, really like think that I have time to like worry about my business that I got a lot of, and your business too, and their business and their business?
I ain't got it to give.
Then I mean, I'm
looked
not
around.
focused on the right things. My priorities are messed up, right? If I have time for that, right? And that just speaks on just who the people are and where they really at in life. And then if you are that kind of individual, I would pray that you do some self evaluations and reevaluate and redirect your own stuff. Like oftentimes we have the nerve, yeah, because it's the nerve, to always like could tell what somebody else is doing wrong, and what somebody else need to fix, and what somebody else oh yeah, they did that. I would never. It's always a never me type of person.
That's already probably
and that's
doing
what
that.
Life does to those type of people. It feels real bad. Like it puts you in positions worse than the ones you said, oh, that could never be me. She doing that? Well, he have. It's life shows you every damn time. Look at now what you doing.
But that be those type of people that stick around for things that they got no business sticking around for, got no business dealing with, you know, and you just look and be like, wow, you really got to be kidding me right at this point. You know, it's like you got to really have some deep-rooted issues within self anytime you got to tear people down. And then, you know, not even just that, you have people that hang around people that they feel like are beneath them in order to boost up their self-confidence and they feeling like they have grown and did this and that. No, you haven't. That's the weakest thing you could do is sit around people that you feel like are beneath you to feel like you're up here and you ain't. No, you need to take a real look at everything, reevaluate, and really self-reflect. Do some reflection on self and understand certain things. But those type of people, they think they it and ain't. So they might have to hit a brick wall or something in order for them to really identify what's happening.
That's how life shows up. And another aspect of growth for me is the type of partner that you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when you're dealing in intimate relationships, it's extremely important to have somebody that pushes you. Someone that, and not in a way that is like on a level like they're trying to change every aspect of who you are as a person, but in ways that they see potential in you. They see things in you and they know your abilities, right? And when you have that, like that's priceless, right? And it's needed. Like you never want to like deal with a person that's okay with you doing the bare minimum. Right?
Like we discussed.
Yeah, so if you know, like if your spouse, you know, is a person that has so many good things, great qualities, could contribute to themselves, because you got to make sure self is good, right? Mm-hmm. And then you can spread it out to the world. But if they not pushing you, and if they not like, listen, they got the like, oh well, you said you was gonna do X, Y, and Z. What's up? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's so needed because some people, even in relationships, are jealous of their spouse, right? Mm-hmm. Damn, like he or she got it going on. Like I can't never get ahead. Damn, he or she, you know, how do she everything that come him or her way? They that's right down like it's nothing, right? And it's like some people is like it blows their mind out because if they don't have their strength, they don't have their will, they don't have that ability, right? So they would go ahead and tear down their partner mentally, right?
Oh yeah.
They work to their mental first, right? Or then they do emotional manipulation and things like that. Mm-hmm. But when you got somebody that's really pushing you to grow and to be the best version of you, and that's one thing that you got to have, like that right there, like it's like top tier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it all contributes to that personal growth, because when you've been through things, and like I was saying, like as far as experiences, it teaches you how to not deal with certain things. So if you're continuing the pattern of dealing with things that you've been through, and you know that that's toxic, or you know that this type of individual is not for you, then that says a lot about yourself. But where you have it, where you're not settling, when you don't settle for things, you know your worth, you know who you are as an individual, and that right there alone speaks for itself, because you know that you're not going to tolerate or deal with the bare minimum, or deal with somebody that's not for you or team you, or understand that yes, y'all both individuals, but y'all both a team. So it should never be an issue where this person is intimidated by you, regardless of who got what. It's like, oh, I'm pushing you, I'm motivating you, being optimistic, really having a positive outlook on certain things because of the potential that they see in you. If the person can make you be a better version of you, that speaks volumes.
The goal.
That's the goal at the end of the day.
Goal. Absolutely, that's the goal. And another thing, I just feel like when it comes down to your children, you got to be able to push them to, right? Speak life into them at the end of the day, like, and make them accountable too, because kids be on some BS sometimes too.
Oh yeah.
So you have to hold them accountable while they're still young and teenagers as well, because then if not, they grow up to be adults that don't know what accountability looks like, don't know what it looks like to be able to grow and let go of certain things, react to certain things, indulge in certain things. Like, you got to be able to instill those things in your kids while they're young, right? Because sometimes you look at people as an adult and you like, hey, you don't know that as a grown man or a grown woman, like. And then it's like you're speaking foreign to them because nobody has ever held them accountable. No one has ever spoke life into them. No one has ever pushed them beyond their limits because they know they're capable of doing so. So all of those kind of things is extremely important to be able to do and give to somebody. Those are jewels that's priceless. You're putting things in their toolbox that they can carry for a lifetime. And then when you already have that type of stuff inside of you, it's easy to give it away for free. Here you go, because it's nothing. It's nothing. It's not going to take away from me because I'm already who I am, right? So if I give this to you, I want you to be a better version of you too here. Or if I see, oh, come on, listen, I see you do, such and such, such and such. Do you think, you know what I mean? Like, speak of, and that's not going to take anything from you.
No.
When it's all said and done. I just feel like life really, honestly, yes, some people we get dealt crazy hands. We be in crazy situations. You know what I mean? Sometimes we in effed up friendships and stuff like that. And especially if you and whoever you in a situation, because it's always, like that, aligned in that way. And if things aren't matching up, no matter whether it's personal, whether it's platonic, it don't really matter what kind of situation it is. And everybody is supposed to be helping each other reach another level, right? Individually and collectively, right? So if you find that you're in situations that's not happening, then yes, it's time to remove yourself. And that's just what it is. It's nothing personal. Oh yeah, it is personal. Very personal. But not personal on a level that people want to take it on. You know what I mean? Because when you truly love the skin that you're in, like I do, all day long, you know what I mean? You're not going to allow things to happen to you. You're not going to allow people to deal with you in certain ways. And you're just going to keep pushing and pushing because it's always more. For me, it's always more. So my growth is endless. It's no cap to that. Like, I don't really see it ever being a cap because I just feel like once you reach this level, that requires certain things too that you got to look at like, damn. All right, let me do a little readjusting and just add a little something to take a little bit away because oftentimes you add so many things into the picture and then we look at it like, oh no, that wasn't a good idea. Like, let me backtrack a little bit, right? And I always tell people, try something you never tried before.
Yeah.
Do something different. Like, it don't matter. Hang out with people. And I'm not saying that, oh, you're going to come and get into my personal business. Absolutely not. But I can learn from you. You can learn from me. Especially when we come from different walks of life, so our interests are different, right? And I said that on a few podcasts ago. If you always hang around, your people is your people.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about networking, right? So if you out here and you networking and you meeting new people and you bring them in, you going to different events and stuff with them, that's gonna make growth come about you regardless because now my lens are different. Oh, I didn't think about that. I never see that before. No, I want to know more. Tell me more about
I'm
that.
dealing with different walks of life here.
Exactly.
And that's where people get it misconstrued. Like when people get big or they look at it, oh, this person changed, this person changed, this person changed. But it's like,
did I work this hard to stay the
no,
same?
I grew.
Exactly.
I grew. I didn't change.
Exactly.
I changed, but I've grown. I have evolved. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people get mad because they are complacent
all day long,
and they're still in the same spot that they in where you left them at, and that's not nobody's issue. And people, like I said, people be getting mad about things that they have no business being mad about, and that be the sad piece of it all. And it's like, no, we're not doing
well,
that.
because they don't have your drive, they don't have your ambition, they don't have your hungriness, they don't have your discipline, they don't have your structure. You know what I mean? They don't have your viewpoint on life. Your goals are different. You know what I mean? And that's just that. Like when you're not willing to sit and stay and stick and be stagnant and take no on things for an answer, when you always stay hungry,
it's up from there. And then a lot of people don't understand, like, you find things out that you thought that you had in common with somebody and you really don't. Like a lot of people get it misconstrued when they think that they're bonding and they're bonding over gossip. That's not that. You know, is levels to it. Like you don't people don't. That's where the mindset go. You know what I'm saying? So when you look around and you start evolving and you start growing and you start meeting different people and you start progressing in life and you look around, you're like, dang, I thought I had something in common with this person, and I thought that we're on the same page. And you take a step back and say, no, we really don't have. And it takes for something to transpire sometimes to really let you open up your eyes to really see. You know, and one thing about me is like, I'm never in competition with nobody. Like when somebody's doing something good, I am happy for them. You know, I like to see people grow and progress and do big things. Like my competition is me. Like I want to challenge myself and say, Dad, you know what, let me see if I could do that. And then challenge myself. I'm my competition. I ain't out here trying to be in competition with nobody but me. That's where the growth come in at when you're competing and being competitive with self to see how you could be better as self.
Yeah, I always tell people it's nothing nobody do that I want to do.
No.
Always down to when I was a kid, like I always been my own individual, you know, and down to any and everything, like from the crazy hair colors I will wear, from whatever I want to do is just strictly something that I like, right? And again, like I said, I am big on uplifting, promoting others, you know what I mean? Just being all around, like, pusher, like, do that, do this, do this. Well, I think that this would be great for you. It ain't my thing, but I think that would be your lane. You know what I mean? Just to throw ideas out there and get their mind, working and things like that, because my thing is this: whoever I aspire to be, I'm gonna be. Any one thing in this life that I have said that I wanted to do that I didn't do yet. I can't name not one. If I say I'm gonna do one thing about me, I don't put no 100%. You gonna get about $1.50, $1.75 out of me, because I'm not gonna put my name on the dotted line if I ain't into it. My heart gotta be in it. If my heart ain't in it, I ain't doing it. And that's just what it is, right? Sometimes you might fit on things just to see. Oh, let me see real quick. Because that's the rebellious, crazy side of me, right? Always learning and trying new things. And then once I don't like it, I'm done with it. Then move along. Because I'm not emotionally attached to it, right? So it's easy for me to leave it where it's at. And when you are strong mentally, you know what I mean? Things that would keep most people stuck in certain situations doesn't happen for me. Once I said I'm done with it, I'm out.
Yeah. Or like once I get upset about something, I find a solution. I want to do something about it. I want to make a change. I want different, because me sitting around soaking around and it's not going to change anything. So I figure, all right, I'm gonna be upset a little bit. All right, let me work to see how I'm gonna fix this or change this or do this or that. Like.
And that's just what it is. I just hope that people are able to, take a minute and just look at themselves, like, and make that list. You know what I mean? Whether you're doing it mentally or you really like writing it down so you can look at it, right? And oftentimes we need those reminders and say, Dad, I'm gonna work on this today. I'm gonna work on this today. And sometimes take a minute to think before you react to something, right? Because oftentimes we just quick to, and it's like, damn, wait, slow down a little bit, right? But people kind of forces you into that. But once you are working on yourself and things, and once you start saying, Dad, let me see, I don't even know this person, so it's not me. It ain't even personal, right? So once you start having that type of mindset and things, but don't get it misconstrued, because I'm never saying let anybody play with you on levels. I'm not saying that at all. That's not what I'm stating. What I'm saying is that, it's okay to not always meet people exactly where they at, especially when it's something that's not even personal towards you, right?
Yeah.
So it's all fine. Oh, have a blessed day.
People don't like that.
Take the deep breath and just go on.
You
know what I mean? Because in me reacting, it might cost me my freedom. It might cost me, a livelihood. It might cost me a couple things that I'm not willing to lose because I work too hard to get it. Understand? So that's just it. Just like be your own advocate for yourself, towards yourself, a you versus you type of thing. And once you do that and be able to look inside you and say, you know what, I want to change this, and the third. Or you go back and reflect on situations and people that you dealt with, from spouses to friendships to even jobs that you held. And you look at them and really think about the situations as a whole, right? How did they, from start to finish, and look in the middle a little bit, right? And see exactly how did things go down, right? And then it'll tell you a lot about you.
Oh, yeah.
Not so much about the people, because it was still you. You're still you with different characters, right? So that means that something that you contribute along the lines in there. Because again, we always want to say what everybody else did, right?
What did you do?
Exactly. So if you really want to grow and you really want to be the best version of you, start looking into those things, all of it.
Yeah.
And some things we like left in the past, but in order to grow, you got to bring those things up and look at them, right?
And take a self-inventory, okay?
Please do. And once you're able to do that and have that accountability and that awareness, because self-monitoring thing is like off the damn charts. I
Look at your character defects, okay?
Please do. And then you'll be like, damn, I'm gonna work on me. So
yeah.
So today, I just hope that y'all take that away and be able to, just know how important self-growth is. And once you start growing, you'll feel much better about yourself, the people that you be around, and then you'll start giving it out to the universe when it's all said and done. And Ash, I know what you want to tell them to do?
Okay, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share to our YouTube channel at Unfiltered Discussions. Follow us on Instagram at Unfiltered Discussions.
You might need to spell that out, because you know how I tell them all day. How you spell that, man?
Do I know how to spell upside down? All right, so it's going to be at UNPHILTERED Discussions DISCUSSION_.
Yes. So this is Nash signing off.
And signing off. Bye-bye.